Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at a very strange show for the most part, Diabolik Lovers, Season 1 of 2, by the way, because I'm going to do the second season review. Now, I'm not going to get into the kind of reasons why I had to watch this show. The person that I'm reviewing this for mainly will know why I'm watching this show, of course. For the most part, though, it's a show that usually is not in my comfort zone. I usually don't watch reverse harems. I watched reverse harems when I was younger because I think I didn't understand the concept of them too much. As I got older, I kind of stayed away from it because I thought more so harems were the normal, if that makes sense. Now, in case you don't know, because you might be new to my channel, you might be new to the concept of reverse harem is essentially, instead of having all girls going after one dude, we have it where all dudes are going after one girl. So the girl is the main protagonist rather than a male protagonist. It's actually a female. Now, Diabolik Lovers is a very interesting show, and I'm going to do my best not to spoil a lot of it. I'm going to talk about what I liked about the show, what I disliked about the show, some of the characters, and I'll talk also about because the person that I'm reviewing this for wants me to talk about at least one thing. I'll say for them is what characters I would like shipped together and kind of why that is. Now, here's the thing, okay, guys and girls. Do not expect me to spoil a lot of stuff, like I said before. It's one of those shows that it's not very long. It's 12 episodes, but each episode's only 14 minutes. If you subtract the opening and closing, you're looking at maybe 12 minutes per show. So honestly, it's not really per se hard to watch, but it's also very easy for me to spoil. So I don't want to spoil things too much. I'm going to talk about just the kind of concept of it. This way, you guys and girls know if you want to watch the show at all. Now, we have our main girl, which by the way is not on the screen right now. Honestly, because I took the image from the visual novel because I felt it's the best way to represent all the characters. So we have our main girl, Yui, who Yui here is forced to go from her own home to a mansion because her father says that she'll be living in this mansion now. Now, she doesn't fully understand what's going on, and when she gets to this mansion, she's hit by a wave of absurdities where you find out that these people that she meets in this mansion, we have characters that are Reiji, we have Shu, we have, and by the way, I'm going just random order. We have Ayato, we have Kanato, and then we have Laito and Subaru. These are just the main characters. We have these characters who are not normal. We'll say that right now. They are vampires. They have been around for a long time, and they drink blood, obviously. Now, what's interesting about this show, though, is that it's not your traditional vampires. I want to say that right now. They're not weak to anything. As far as I'm concerned, they're actually pretty freaking powerful. I mean, Yui goes up to them in the beginning and talks about how, she's trying to put a cross to them and say, like, oh, you're weak to the cross, aren't you? Or something. He goes, no. He goes, we're not weak to that. He goes, we're not also weak to, the sun. We're not weak to any of that. That's just the concept that humans have for us. But no, we're not weak to any of that. But you find out that all 5 of these characters essentially are brothers, or excuse me, all several of the characters. I think there's 6 brothers in total. Hopefully, I'm not wrong with that. I think 6. We have all 6 characters. They are all brothers, but per se, I'm not going to get into details of what their lineage is with one another. I'll just say that they're not all per se perfect brothers, if that makes sense. But Yui has a very unfortunate dilemma because they want her blood. You thought I was going to say something else. They want her blood, and they are batshit crazy. Every single one of these characters is crazy. Like, I mean, honestly, it is one of those shows that you have each character having a very quirky personality. And I mean, I kind of dig that about the show. That was one thing I liked about the show, is that you at least feel that every character has their own kind of creation to them. You know what I mean? A lot of times shows like this, like reverse harems, can be anything that they fall into this very generic category. Like, for example, a show I just reviewed recently, Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket is an older show, of course, but a lot of those characters were very formulaic. In Diabolik Lovers, a lot of these characters are very odd and just kind of quirky, but at least that keeps you on your toes of trying to figure out what makes them tick. And you find out more and more as the show goes on of like their troubles and it's kind of what they have to dealt with in their lives and stuff like that. But that's one of the few things I really did like about the show. Honestly, one thing I'll say about the show I hated was Yui. Honestly, she is probably one of the dumbest female protagonists I've seen in a long, long time. There's a lot of times where she had the ability to leave. She could have just left. I mean, the guy presented her at one point. I'm not going to say who, but he presents her with a dagger saying, hey, you know what? Just leave. You could leave right now. I'll cover for you. Go. she stays behind. Why? Why would you do that? You know, these dudes are all on top of you trying to suck your blood and kill you, and at least in your head, and you're staying there. Why? You know, this is just one of the absurdities that she does within the course of 12 episodes. I mean, honestly, this girl is dumb as bricks. You know, just Yui, you get dumbest female protagonist role I've ever seen in any anime, honestly, hands down. But you know what's cool about the show, other than that though, is animation wise, it's actually got a pretty nice animation set. I like the colors, I like the visual effects. Nothing is too appealing to the eyes. I mean, there's some weird, I want to say later effects with like, you know, they try to do certain elements of fire, for example. I'm not going to go into much detail with that because that's also kind of spoiler territory. But they changed the color of it, and it's like, why was there like supposed to be a visual flare to it? It's just a little weird. It was a little odd to me. You know, animation seems like it's not too bad for the most part. I like the character designs, even though that these characters per se are only, I want to say. I wanted to say something else, but I'm not gonna say that because it would spoil something. So I'll put that to the side. But I do like the character palettes. I like the character colors and stuff like that. So I mean, this show is very colorful. I'll say that. Music wise, I had to listen to every single. I had to listen to every single opening part for this show. 12 episodes, every opening. And what's funny, well, the opening's always the same, but usually for me, this is me. I do not usually do that, you know. But because the person I watched this with maybe watched the opening. Yeah, you know who you are. Yeah, I was forced to watch every single time the opening. I will say the opening is not that bad. I mean, it's sung by the characters. They do a decent job of singing it. I didn't really per se hate it. I didn't like it that much, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it did its job. Background music and OST overall was all right. There was nothing really per se wrong with that. You know, if I had any real complaints about this, I feel it's hard to say there's any complaints on me. I mean, honestly, you know, this is a show that's not geared for guys. That's just how it is. I mean, reverse harems usually always are geared for girls. I mean, it's, you know, you have characters that you have handsome looking dudes. So obviously, if you're a dude watching it, you're not gonna really feel for any of the characters per se. But if you're a girl watching it, you're gonna fall for the characters. That's the whole point of the show. So I can't really say I have issues with it per se. I have issues, you know, with my own concept because I don't really like reverse harems. But you know, I can't say that it's bad or really horrible because, hey, listen, I'm not a girl. I'm not the age group or even the category or gender that this show is trying to appeal towards. But overall, I did watch it in subtitled. I heard some of the dub for it. The dub didn't sound too bad, so I can't really say too much about it, though. The subtitle is perfectly fine. I actually liked all the voice acting for the most part. It had no issues with that. And also, yeah, I forgot to say, so the character I would feel would be best with the main girl Yui would have to be Ayato. You know, honestly, Ayato is, I think almost in many ways, I think that the authors wanted to have those two paired together just because of all their kind of on-screen time and how they interact with one another a lot, especially toward the very end. But I would say that, yeah, that would be probably the one that I paired. Is that my favorite dude of the show? No. And I'm not going to get into who my favorite dude is of the show because, again, I'm a straight guy. So I'm not going to talk about that. But, you know, if I had to get, like, two of them to be together in a romance together, that would be who I pair with it. So Ayato and Yui. But overall, you know, Diabolik Lovers is not a horrible show. I mean, I hate to say that, you know, I might get some slack for, you know, being a dude liking a show like this, but it wasn't that bad. You know, I had its ups and downs. There were some times where I was, like, laughing because it was kind of just really not clearly geared for dudes, obviously. But if you go into it, you know, you're a girl, a female, honestly, you won't have issues with it. You'll probably fall in love with the show. You might, you know, you might notice some flaws here and there. You might notice some cliches here and there. But overall, it wasn't a bad time. So, I mean, if I had to review it A through F, I have to give it a solid B minus. You know, I have no issues with it. Just, that's honest truth. But anyways, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, you know, the whole nine. Until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.